this is supposed to be securely connected to here. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, or as always, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Today working on the Tahoe again, and I'm going to be fixing two issues that I'm having with it. So the first one is going to be this button up under here, which seems to be a pretty common problem with these. It just, I guess the top piece breaks off and the whole button assembly just kind of falls out, leaves you just a shell, and you can't pop your glass anymore. So I'm gonna be fixing that real quick, and then I'm gonna be fixing the main issue with this thing, which is it doesn't like to always go into park. Whenever you go to put it in park, it'll almost be like in a neutral state, but it'll still roll. It won't engage into park, and I'm thinking that is a stretched out shift cable. I already have the shift cable on the way, don't have it today, so I'm going to be just popping that in right now. Again, for you guys, it'll be like a couple seconds till it comes in, but I'm going to be replacing that. I'm going to be replacing both because there's two sections of it. The first piece goes from the shifter through the floor up under the truck, and then the second piece goes from the end of that to the actual transmission itself. So I'm going to be replacing that too, and hopefully that'll fix my issue. If it doesn't, we'll have to start digging a little bit more into it. But like I said, I still don't think it's that bad of a fix, considering you can get it to go into park. You just have it, if it doesn't go in, you bring it down to neutral and then pop it up into park, and normally it'll go in there. So I'm thinking it just got stretched out. I mean, the thing has 240,000 miles on it. It's probably the original shifter. So we're going to be fixing that hopefully in this video as well. But first, let's get to popping out this button. Now, the right way to do it is to lift up the hatch, take all the inner shielding out, and then get to the bolts back here. I actually think you have to take off the wiper motor and everything, and then you'll get to, I think it's 1 or 2 10mm bolts for this. Pops off, and then it's super easy to get to it from there. But that kind of seems like a headache, and a lot of them I've seen I've been able to, or they've been able to get it out just from here. And really, since that plug is garbage anyways, you can kind of break it and get it out. Just be careful not to mess up the underside of this, because this is plastic. So I mean, it's pretty strong plastic, but I mean, you can still mess it up pretty good. So I'm going to get up in there and see if I can't pop this out. There are 2 tabs. I'm just going to be using these little guys. I'm kind of thinking I'll be using the smaller one of the 2, but I just got them. And I'm going to try to pop this out. Alright guys, so I got it popped out. What I did was I used this little guy and then my pliers, kind of grabbed, you see how it's kind of broken around the edges? I grabbed the edges just to pull down just enough to see where these little tabs are. If you can see these. This one, I broke that one off. These ones, and I just reached up in there and pulled it down. When I got this side out, the reason this side's broken is because when I got this side out, I broke that one off. So that way it couldn't get stuck back in there. And then I reached around, found this one, pushed it, whole thing popped out. And then just to unclip it, you just unclip it from right here. It doesn't look like it comes out too much. I might just put a screwdriver in there, see if I can't pop it back in. But that's how you unclip it. Let's grab the new one. And this is the new one. Got it off Amazon. Super cheap, I think it was like 13 or 14 bucks. So let's pop this one out. Let's get another flathead. Just so that way when we do pop it out, this plug doesn't go anywhere. So I'm just gonna unclip that. All right, and it was that simple. Like I said, so this plug didn't pop back up in there. I just got a screwdriver, just so slightly pushed it up against that, the clip, so it didn't go anywhere. Plugged it in, and as I was plugging it in, I accidentally hit it, and it's working. So I'll go ahead and push this back up in there. And it seems solid, and as you guys heard, it works. So click it, pops open, it's closed now, and that's it. So now that part's fixed, let's go around to the front, hurry up and get that shifter cable fixed. All right guys, so like I said, there's only been a few seconds for you guys, but it's been a few days here, and I finally got the parts that I need. like I said, I'm going to go ahead and replace both. I could probably get away with just replacing this one, but I figured I've already got it all apart, may as well, and then eliminate this from failing in the future. So I'm going to get up under the Tahoe and I guess start disconnecting this one. I'm going to pull the whole thing out as a unit and then put this one in first, then hook this one up, run it to it, because I've read you've got to have the whole thing in park already and then hook these two up or else it'll be a little off. So we'll get that done. So let's hop up under there and start getting this thing tore apart. Alright, so here we are up under the driver's side. You can see that's the driver's side front wheel. Kind of in here kind of weird. And I'm going to attempt to get this off. Now I did wiggle it and it feels like it's not, like it's in park, but it's like right in park. So I think that's definitely stretched. Maybe it pulled itself back or something. But I'm going to try to get this off. Hopefully it's kind of just crustied on there and it's pretty easy to... Okay, well that was super easy. So I just got my flathead, got up in here, pulled it off. My park linkage seems pretty firm, so I think that's okay. And then we've got another, let's see if I can get my shadow out of the way. Got another connection right here. Just want to pop that out. Okay, so with actual lighting, I don't know if you can see up in there, but there's a little clip. I'll try to zoom in and maybe circle it, but there's a little clip right there. And I'm just gonna get my screwdriver in there, push that out, and then see if I can get that out. Let's see. Shouldn't be too hard to pry out. If I can get it in there. There we go. Alright, and then try not to lose that. Not sure if the other one comes with it. With stuff like this, I've always learned, save all your hardware, just in case. So now that should, maybe these two clips pop in and then it should come right out. So let me try to do that. I might need both hands. With both hands, there are two little push pins on either side. When I get this out, I'll show you better. But then it slides back like this, like it sits in there. I'm not gonna pull it all the way back through, but let's see. It sits in there, like it pulls forward like that. It pushes back, and then you can just kind of finagle this around and get it out. Yeah, I might need both hands, maybe not. Maybe I can get this one. There we go. Alright, now that's loose. Now we just got to run through, get all the other connections off. There's a couple more. Cable is right here. So it feels 100% loose from there. And then we'll have, let's see, I'll go ahead and pull this all the way through. Ooh. Feel something rubbing right there. That's, doesn't feel good. Maybe it got hot. Yeah, a lot of dust. Alright, so there's that. There's the end. So we've got a connection point right. I'll use my shadow to point at it, but right here, this black thing, that's connected to the cable. And then I believe probably have to use my shadow again, but then that right, you look at my shadow finger, that right there, that little black point, that's also connected. And then it goes up to the floor and then up to the steering column. So let me, yep, just get a flathead in there. It pulls off, there's a stud there. And this guy, probably the same thing. Now this one, I know it comes with a new one, so I'm not too terribly worried about this one breaking. And it didn't break. That's pretty surprising, actually. Alright, so now I think the cable is 100% free. So now I can pull this side down and then get up into the cab and then actually start pulling it off from there. So let's go. Alright, so here we are in the driver's side. I went and washed my hands because now we're working inside. And then I'm going to hit the button to keep the lights off because I'm going to be under here for probably a minute. So I'm going to take this panel off. There's two Phillips heads that I can see. Got one one here, and one there. So I think that's it. So I missed one. There's one here. It's a 10mm by where the e-brake pulls out. And then this whole thing pops out and comes down. So now we're gonna want to get to this guy right here. So kind of the same thing. Gotta pop this off, and there's, I think, one more back there. Then it goes up under the carpet. We'll have to pull the carpet up a little bit, and I think it sits about right here, but I'll pop that off real quick and show you guys the other one. Okay, so it was a really tight squeeze, but that hole right there was kind of the same thing as on the transmission. It had that little C-clip, and then those two tabs inside, and then you push it in, and the shifter is now free from, I believe, everything right here. I think I can pull it down. There it is. I got it all still kind of tucked up in there, but I got it all pulled down. And then there's that plug through the floor. So all you got to do is just pull on it, and that comes up. And then I'm just going to feed this up through. Everything is out of here. I've got the new piece right here. This is the part that goes to the column. And again, like I've read, you've got to have these everything in park before you hook them up. So I'm going to run this one first up into here, then send that one down the floor, hook all this up in here, be done with it, and then the rest of it will be up under the truck, just hooking everything up. Alright guys, so I got it hooked up here. It is ran up through. I kind of want to try to find a better way, just because it looks awfully close to the drive shaft here, and I definitely think that's gonna hit. So maybe I can find a way to zip tie that up somewhere, but it's ran. So all that's left to do is hook up here. Trans is in park, the shifter's in park, and then we should be able to see if that fixed our problem. So got this all hooked up. You see it there. That push pin is pushed in. That's pushed in. Nice and secure. Got it all routed. I like how I like it. Looks to be in pretty good shape. So I'm going to go wash my hands again real quick since I'm going to be getting in the car. And I'm going to see if that fixed my issue. Here we are in the Tahoe, about to test this out. I'm in park. Okay. That's not good. It's taken me a lot longer. You can see it's nighttime. I'll explain that here in a second, but let's see if that fixed my issue. I got my e-brake on so we don't move. Still in park. That's reverse, neutral, drive, 3, 2, Alright, so it goes into park fine, but it doesn't seem like it wants to go all the way down into 1. Alright guys, so as you can see, it is a new day, new clothes. The Tahoe is now 100% fixed. It goes into park all through the gears, perfect now. I put everything in, but it was a pain. So I'm going to tell you my experience. It wasn't hard to do, but I cheaped out on one of the parts because they didn't have a GM genuine. So the upper cable, I kind of went the cheapest one on Rock Auto. I can't remember what the brand is, but cheap will get you in a pickle. So I put it all in and wouldn't go through all the gears. It was still not adjusted right, because these you have to adjust them. So I was like, okay, I went under there, adjusted it, and then I went to put it into park, and I'll just show you what happened to the cable. So this is the new cable I bought. For one, that boot for the underside just blew apart, which is cool. And then this part, if you see in there, there's those little notches for the C-clip. I actually had to use this C-clip on the old upper housing, because when I took the C-clip out of that one, it broke, because it's just an old copper one. But I did use the original upper shift cable, because I mean it felt good. When I took it out, it was still real loose, wasn't binding or anything. But I think what failed was this lower one. This was the old one I pulled out, and the old one that's in, or the new one that's in there now, is a GM genuine, so that's fine. But I think right here is my issue. It probably heated up this, whatever it was rubbing on. I did run them through, make sure it wasn't going to hit on anything else. But whatever it was rubbing on, I think it probably heated up the cable a little bit and just maybe stretched it. I maybe could have gotten away with just adjusting it, because it wasn't that far off. And I mean, it still really doesn't feel all that bad, but oh well, just went ahead and put a new one in, because that, I don't like that at all. But that one's trash. This one is also trash, but this one is brand new, which is irritating. So let me show you exactly the failure point. I pushed this back together, but let me get it off real quick. So this is what happened. This is supposed to be securely connected to here, and when this does this, the cable won't move properly, and it'll adjust itself everywhere. So I went to put it back into park. It went through all the gears okay, and then as soon as I went to put it up into park, it hit reverse, got real tight, and then blew this thing apart. So just cheap stuff. If you're gonna buy stuff, if possible, do OEM. If not, get something that's not cheap. So that's kind of my issue, or that's kind of what happened. I've got the original upper shift cable, which seems to be working fine, and then a brand new GM genuine lower. So Tahoe is fixed. All the little stuff that was mainly wrong with it, as far as functionality wise, is now good. That's a win. But like I said, this guy is no good, and I wish I could remember the brand, but who knows, maybe it's not so much of the brand issue as just maybe quality control, maybe just this one. But that being said, Tahoe's fixed. I'm happy. It took a long time. Like, I thought I was going to crush that in about 20 minutes. And it did take me 20 minutes originally, but then with that one breaking, and then I have to pull it back out, pull C-clips out, all that stuff, it took a while. It wasn't too bad. If you want to tackle this, just make sure you get the right parts. Saves you a whole lot of headache. That's pretty much going to wrap up this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hoped it was helpful. If you guys are having this issue, I would really look into either adjusting the cable. If it feels fine, like it doesn't really feel like it's dragging, I would maybe just try to adjust it. But mine, I just went ahead and replaced it. But how you adjust it is you just pull this back, pull this silver clip up, and then you've got all these little splines. See all these little splines here? And you'll just move this in and out ever so slightly. Probably move it like maybe 1 or 2 splines at a time, just to make sure you're not overdoing it. And then move it in or out, however you need. Close this back down on it, and then you're good to go. Leave a like on this video if you liked it and it was helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff with the Tahoe and the truck. I got stuff coming out for both of them, so stay tuned for that. Go follow me on all my socials. They're down in the description below and also in the end card. Go to my links below. I got some really good sites down there. Guys, get you some good stuff and get some discounts. And then leave a comment down below, as always, if you have any comments, questions, concerns about anything I did in this video. And let me know what you guys are thinking about the Tahoe. Got some new headlights going in and all LED front end. I was hoping to get that done this weekend, but then with that rearing its ugly head with all the cheapness, kind of didn't get to it today. But hopefully very soon I'll have that done, and then I got stuff coming out for the truck. So again, that's gonna wrap this video up, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.